I think it's time to give the New York Knicks their flowers and start giving them the benefit of the doubt as one of the top teams in the Eastern Conference. I know that's a crazy thing to say, but the OG Anunnoby trade has really changed things in my mind. And it was a trade that I was not down on when it first happened, when I thought that was actually pretty good. And it turned out to be really good, better than I expected. So let's talk about the New York Knicks. Listen, this is coming from a Nets fan, and if you're watching this with no context on me as a fan, I am wearing a Yankees jacket. I got a lot of, or sweatshirt, I guess. I got a lot of Yankees stuff in the background from top to bottom of the bookshelves back here, hats and stuff galore. But I am a Yankees fan. Doesn't mean I'm a Knicks fan. I'm a Nets fan through and through. And the Knicks are a team that, I mean, they're not the biggest rivals of the Nets, in my opinion. I dislike the Celtics probably much more. But I could give praise to teams that I don't necessarily like. And the Knicks, I'm going to do that today because the Knicks made a great move in trading for OG Anunnoby. OG Anunnoby coming from the Raptors, who I think were very hesitant to tear down, and they finally did. And I give them props. I give Masai Ujiri props for trading away Anunnoby and Siakam, even though he held on to him for a little longer than I thought he would. I like the young core they're starting to build there, and trading OG Anunnoby to the Knicks might have been a win-win move. It might have been, right? Emmanuel quickly could develop into something. Bringing RJ Barrett home, you get a second-round pick. I don't know, but the Knicks are certainly winning it in the interim. The Knicks, since the start of January when they traded for OG Anunnoby, and this does include 2 games when he's been out. Julius Randle's also been out a little bit with a dislocated shoulder. The Knicks are 14-2. They have the best defensive rating in the NBA. This is going into today, Wednesday, January 31st. 100.1 points allowed, which is the best in the NBA. 43.9 field goal percentage allowed, which is the best in the NBA. And second best in the NBA in 3-point percentage allowed, only to the Boston Celtics. These are top of the charts defensive statistics, all courtesy of the New York Post. Shout out to them. But at the end of the day, what this comes down to is it's just a great basketball fit. And I'm not a big X's and O's guy, but I could tell you at the end of the day that RJ Barrett and Julius Randle both playing alongside Jalen Brunson was never the recipe for success. I like Julius Randle. I don't think he's the best player on a championship team, but he's not the best player on the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is the best player on the Knicks. And we could go on and on about their free agency signing of him and how he's criminally underpaid, how he probably should have been the starting guard for the Eastern Conference if the fans actually voted and Knicks fans actually turned out. But could he be the best player on a championship team? I think there's got to be a lot around him to go right. And I think the Knicks are building that around those two really good players. And OG Anunnoby's the best third guy you could ask for. So you have a situation where you have Jalen Brunson, who's turned himself into a star, who's not flashy, but he's in there every night, lunch pail kind of guy, blue collar kind of guy, comes to work, puts up his points, gets the offense going, et cetera, et cetera. You got Julius Randle, who's going to take his own shot, who I think could use some development as a passer, but at the end of the day is going to give you 20 plus and 10 every night. And then you add OG Anunnoby, who is lethal from the corner, who's a 3-point shooter who does not need the ball in his hands. So much better of a fit than RJ Barrett. And it allows those two guys, Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, to operate and to be able to have the ball in their hands and still kick it out to OG Anunnoby for an open shot. And then the other end, Anunnoby's night and day better than a defender than RJ Barrett. It's just a massive upgrade on both sides of the ball, both in fit and in talent. And you have a situation where even though Mitchell Robinson is hurt, Isaiah Hartenstein's really stepping up, and I think Mitchell Robinson might come off the bench. I like what he provides on the defensive end, but his offense is nowhere near what Hartenstein is. You get quality impact from guys like Josh Hart and Dante DiVincenzo, whether they're in the starting lineup or they're coming off the bench. Deuce McBride, I think they would hope to get a little more from, but Quentin Grimes, while he hasn't been as spectacular as I think he could have developed into, and fans were hoping for, he's still been an impact player for them. He's still a very good defender. And I know losing Emmanuel quickly off the bench hurts, but I think they're one piece away, man. And I think you can comfortably say where they are, that they're in the second tier of teams, that they're not Boston. They're probably not Milwaukee, although Milwaukee doesn't look great since Doc Rivers took over. I mean, 2-game sample size, but whatever. Milwaukee certainly has their problems, but I think they're right there with Philly in that second tier, right? In that maybe Miami's in that tier. Maybe Orlando's in that tier. I don't know. I mean, obviously Philly's in that tier, but I think the Knicks are right there. I think they're third or fourth in the East. And in terms of regular season, with Joel Embiid having the injury concerns that he is and that he does every year, and with the Bucks seemingly still trying to figure things out, they lost to Portland tonight, and Dame's return to Portland, lost to the Trailblazers, and Anthony Simons looked very good against the Milwaukee Bucks. I don't hate the Knicks adding a piece and making a run at it, man. I mean, weirder things have happened. We had the Miami Heat last year as the eighth seed make a run, and you're telling me, let's say the Knicks could swing a trade for a guy like Malcolm Brogdon from the aforementioned Portland Trail Blazers. You had a guy who provides some bench scoring and facilitating off the bench to that bench unit. Maybe a stardom actually alongside Jalen Brunson. I don't know, but you just instantly lengthen the depth. You don't have to give up a whole lot to get him. Or maybe the guy is DeJounte Murray, and you put him in the starting lineup, and you move DiVincenzo off to the bench, but then you stagger DeJounte Murray and Jalen Brunson's minutes. I don't know what that piece is. I think Mikal Bridges is like that dream piece for them. I don't know if they would be willing to give up, I think, the 3 first-round picks plus that it's going to take, especially because the Nets seem hell-bent on holding on to Mikal Bridges. But if you could imagine Jalen Brunson, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunnoby, Julius Randle and Isaiah Hartenstein, and then you have a bench unit of Dante DiVincenzo and Josh Hart and Quentin Grimes and Mitchell Robinson. You have all those Villanova guys back together. I don't know. It could be a lot of fun. But anyway, my point is, I don't hate the Knicks adding one more piece. And if they add one more piece, like if they were somehow able to add DeJounte Murray, they're right there in that first tier, in my opinion. Now they're not the favorites against the Boston Celtics. Frankly, I don't know that they take the Boston Celtics to 7 or maybe even 6. But you're there. You're close. You're gonna compete with the Boston Celtics in the playoffs, in my opinion. And if something goes wrong, right, similar to what happened last year, Miami was the 8th seed going against the Milwaukee Bucks. The Milwaukee Bucks were probably the prohibitive favorites. Giannis gets hurt, misses a couple games. All of a sudden, Miami sneaks by. Listen, Jason Tatum misses a game or two. Kristaps Porzingis misses the series. I mean, he's been injury prone in the past. Maybe Jaylen Brown misses some time. Derek White gets nicked up. I don't know. You could see it. You could make an argument that possibility is there. And I don't know. If I'm the New York Knicks, I don't hate throwing my hat in the ring. You don't have to give up 7 first-round picks and kill the future potential of adding a big name. You know, if a star becomes available, if a Luka asks out, or if a Joel Embiid asks out, being one of those teams that's there ready with the picks. Because at the end of the day, Julius Randle's going to be the big piece that goes back in that deal. That's going to be the high talent player that the other team's going to be able to flip for even more picks. You need the salary to match. And you got a couple picks. You know, you're telling me Julius Randle and 2 or 3 firsts couldn't land a big name? I think you could trade some near picks, still make that work if the situation comes up, but that's no guarantee anyway. Make a run at it now. Make a run at it now and hope that your luck falls in your way. That's what I would do if I'm Leon Rose in the New York Knicks. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Do we give enough love to the New York Knicks? I feel like everyone likes to dog on them in the national media, but they're building something. I think they're not the laughing stock that they were a couple years ago when they got beat out by Atlanta in the first round of the playoffs. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Appreciate you watching this Quick Thoughts episode. I hope you enjoyed. Peace out.